Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Avax. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to check that out before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of your video. Now jumping into the daily chart on TradingView, we have our Fibonacci retracement as always, swing high in February to the swing low over here in July. We've moved nicely to the 1.414 and now we're having a pullback and we're potentially gonna go and retest this zone if we have another pullback, because we are having a nice little bear pennant over here. And let me get the target for you guys of that bear pennant. So if we start breaking down from this pennant, we are potentially going to start losing it and losing this lower support line of the pennant. And we either land on the support zone over here at $71.64, or we'll land on this swing high of the Fibonacci retracement at $60. And yeah, that is a hefty correction from the all-time high, a 60% correction. But you know, here in the crypto space, things like this happen. So don't be surprised if it goes down here, even for a brief period of time. You may have a couple of wicks to the zone and then you just come back up relatively quickly. But what we're doing right now is very healthy because the EMAs are coming closer together. They're catching up and the gap in between them is becoming smaller. And that is basically what you want to do, because once the gap is small like this, there's room for growth. But once there's a huge gap in between them and the price is very overextended and far away from the 20 EMA, that screams pullback. And you ran into this resistance level. So, you know, this was a very nice, selling point. And I did give you this, guys, on Twitter. And I did mention this on my channel multiple times. So if you sold at this level, you now have the opportunity to buy back in at a 40% discount, which is nice. So yeah, we do have a target all the way down here to either $71 or $60 if we start seeing a more heavy pullback on Bitcoin. But by the end of the bull market, we're looking for $192, right? After that, we do have the second fib level at $394. We'll see if we can get there. You know, for us to get to $400, the markets need to be, filled with FOMO and retail investors, and that usually comes at the last euphoric stage of the bull market. So we'll see if we can get there. If we manage to get to $393, I'd be pretty much taking all my profits on Avax at this point, because at this point it would be so overextended, and from there we would see a 95% pullback in the bear market, just like we usually do see all the time. And, I'm one of the people that thinks we're going to have, the next bear market, because, Bitcoin is still going to have the halvings, and we're still going to have the 4-year cycles. And there's not enough, mass adoption for us not to have these pullbacks, because the markets are heavily manipulated. So a 95% pullback for Avax puts it at around about $20, right at the 382 over here at this fib. So you could sell at $400 and buy back in at $20. You could even sell at $300 and buy back in at $20. That's a great deal either way. And I'm not going to be holding much of my tokens all the way, above past $200 basically, because it's going to be way overbought at that point. And on the weekly chart, it's extremely overbought. I think it has pulled back. As of now, we're going to check out the RSI for the daily chart and then the weekly chart afterwards. So one thing that's negative right now is that we lost this multi-month green trend line, and we've been holding it ever since June. So here you can see that we lost it, and now we're back testing it pretty much as resistance. We had this double top, went back down, and obviously you landed on some sort of a support level. Now you could draw as many trend lines as you like. You'll never know where the RSI is going to land. Obviously, you can see that we tested this level as resistance multiple times. We can even come back as low as here, right? And because we've tested this level as support multiple times before as well. So you can keep on drawing these trend lines off of each, point of contact. But at the end of the day, You should have at least a couple of them, and just so you have a rough idea where the RSI can land. Obviously, not all the time it's going to land, exactly on the support line or bounce off the resistance line, but more often than not, it does come down into that area in general. So if you see, I have this trend line over here, for example, and the RSI dropped, but not as low as, it didn't actually touch the trend line, then it doesn't mean that I tried to scam you or whatever. So I'm just trying to explain that it's not going to be knob on and perfectly all the time. So that's it for the daily chart. Now let's jump into the weekly. Okay, now jumping into the weekly chart, so you can see that we're coming back down for support on the 20 EMA over here, and we can even go as low as $69 because that's where the 20 EMA is on the weekly chart. Now, some projects are below the 55 EMA on the weekly chart, and that's a hefty correction. If Avax were to do that, then from where we are right now, that would be a 60% correction after it already had like a 40% correction, right? So it is possible we may come back down as low as the 55 EMA. Some projects wick down way down. And do I see that happening for Avax? Well, if only Bitcoin starts, crapping the bed and we start losing all the structural support. Right now you can see we're pretty much consolidating on this swing high over here. We're above the previous all-time highs. So we're doing very good at the minute. The RSI has started coming back down. We were in the oversold over here and we started coming back down, which is nice. When I was covering the project multiple weeks ago, we were in the oversold and I was telling guys that I wouldn't be getting into Avax at any point when we were oversold or overbought, I should say, on the weekly chart. Now that we have come back down, now you can start looking for some nice entry points if you're into Avax. And these like pullbacks, I did give you a nice support level. We'll cover that in a second. But I did give you a nice support level that played out nicely. And now I'm giving you the 20 EMA on the weekly chart. So look for that. Now jumping into the daily chart, let's bring back the drawings. The last video, I did show you this resistance line that we held. Well, now it's a support line because when you flip a resistance, it becomes support. So here we've held it, and this was the neckline for the cup and handle pattern as well. And as you can see over here, we bounced right off of the white trend line, and that was around $80. And I did give you that support line in the last video 10 days ago. It played out nicely. So from this support line over here, you were up, let's see how much. So yeah, you were up like 22%. So you could have taken profit at around about $95. So right now on the daily chart, we are below the 1.272. We're below the 55 EMA. This is a little mini version of the Fibonacci retracement. So this is a swing high of September 23rd and the swing low October 11th. We got to the 2.272 over here, and from there we started losing our support levels one by one, back testing them as resistance, and now we've landed on this multi-month support. Well, actually, it's we've been holding it as support since November 4th over here. So if we're going to start losing that, I would look at the 786 over here on this Fibonacci retracement at $72. So if I say $72, what's the exact number here on the Fib? 72.71. Well, then have the buy order at $73.15. Always have the buy orders above the actual support level so that you increase your chances of getting filled, okay? That's just a pro tip for you guys. I'm not a pro or anything, and I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but these things tend to help me out. Now, if I bring out the 80 EMA to the chart, you can see that right now we're holding the 80 EMA as support very nicely. And if I bring out the 100 EMA, then that's exactly where we were wicking down. So have the 100 and the 80 EMA on your charts. If you start losing the 80 EMA as support, you start losing this white trend line, look for support on the 100 EMA and look for support on the 786 on this Fib retracement, okay? So if we jump into the oscillators on the daily chart, we've taken a look at it. So it's pretty neutral right now, consolidation period. On the stochastic, we're oversold. These are the best times to be entering your projects because you can see once you're oversold, the only way from here is to the upside. And if we take a look at the MACD, we're getting pretty overextended on the MACD as well. We had a bearish cross here November 25th. So from there, you can see the depreciation of the price. And, you know, if you trade based on the MACD and you sold when you got this bearish cross, you could have bought back in much lower right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If I missed out anything on the charts, as always, do let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, follow me on Twitter. Make sure to check out our Telegram chat and our Discord server. Make sure to check out our Patreon as well. Great way to support me and a great way to give back to those who support me. Think of it as buying a cup of coffee, but instead of the coffee, you get a lot of useful information, low cap gems, my buys, my sell alerts, all that good stuff, you know, technical analysis and video requests, all that good stuff. Make sure to check it out. Links are in the description, and make sure to check out ExpressVPN. If you're looking for a reliable VPN, then ExpressVPN is the place to be. Thank you for watching. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.